Morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Missy?
I'm doing good.
That's good. Thanks in advance.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate you. Clifton, are you on?
I am now. I had logged in and stepped away, but I am here now.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Had a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Todd called me and mentioned that someone was trying to register and attend. I know our
Mm-hmm.
cutoff was 10 a.m.,
Mm-hmm.
so there's nothing we can do at this point, right?
No.
Okay. Just checking in case any more questions like that come in.
Did mm, I wonder what time that was. That's
Mhm.
all.
They just contacted him, so probably
Mm-hmm.
within the last 30 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that MBDA sent out the invite, and
Uh,
so it was
mm-hmm.
done,
Mm.
like maybe this morning or something.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Good morning, Dr. Green. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Isaiah. How are you? You're on mute.
Technical difficulties is not a good sign.
It's okay. It's okay. We're getting it all right now, so that's good. Oh, and Missy's in red. Great minds think alike.
Yes. I don't know. For some reason last night I thought it was a good idea to turn the heat up in my office. And this morning it was like over 80. I'm like, okay, that is not okay. And I didn't turn it up to 80, but it must have been, I'm not sure what the deal was. But so it's, my face is probably matching my shirt right now because of the temperature.
You look a little flushed. Were you able to turn it back down?
Yes, I did.
Good, good.
Nita, let me know if you can unmute yourself. How about now?
Yes, I had the pop-up that allowed me to do that.
All right. Missy, unmute.
Yes, I'm able to unmute too.
All right.
Thank you.
Alan, can you unmute?
Did it do it that time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, I wanted to let you know too that before I introduce Eric, there's another bill in Congress dealing with infrastructure, 3339. And I wanted to say we need to pay attention to that one before, because that's $5 trillion. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Not saying in 2022 with all that's going on that that's even passed, but something to pay attention to. Since we're waiting, let me toss out a couple of things that we have some dead time I may mention. One, I may mention the bill and making sure the participants read it and then let you all say anything on it if you want to. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. The other one, the second one I may mention if we have dead time too, is making sure that the DBEs, MBEs are prepared and have all their registrations and certifications, and then toss it to you all, to just make sure their paperwork, you can talk about if their paperwork is up to date. That'd be one, if it's dead time. Another one is being proactive and making sure they introduce themselves to you all before these contracts come out so that they be familiar with what's happening. And of course, as a subcontractor, number four, I'll say as a subcontractor, looking for networking opportunities, start building relationships, which I just mentioned, with IDOT, which with MoDOT, so that they can know when these things are happening. And of course, if it's time, I'll mention, think about teaming and looking at contracts with other contractors to bid on projects. And of course, you two could talk more about teaming and going after contracts and things like that if you want to. But those are some of the questions. If we have dead time, I would toss to you all.
Hello, Miss Kelly. You're on mute.
Okay.
There
It
you
wouldn't
go.
let me do it on my own, I guess.
Okay. We will be starting in about 5 minutes, Miss Kelly. How are you?
Okay.
Glad you can make it. Miss Sharp, are you on?
Thank you.
All right.
Good morning. Congresswoman Kelly, we're so glad you were able to join us today. We
Thank you so much.
look forward to your opening remarks. And Dr. Allen, great questions as fillers.
Thank
Are
you.
we missing anyone?
No, have we opened it up to let folks?
No, we have 3 minutes.
Ah, okay. I thought we were opening it up, Clifton, at 11:55
Mm,
so that we
yeah.
could start right at noon.
Mm. Let's see, we have 10 people in the lobby. So give me a second.
Okay, thank
So
you.
the hard start at noon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure we had all of our participants in first. So I think we've accounted for everyone, yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I will start letting them in.
Okay.
The meeting features don't officially start until noon on the dot. So we just need to be cognizant of that. You know how we locked the screen yesterday and all of that? That doesn't become functional until exactly noon because that's what time I had the meeting clock start. So I
Okay.
will start the recording effectively at noon as well. But I can
Okay.
go ahead and let people in.
Okay. Now, Tony says she can't unmute as well. She needs to say something.
Okay.
All
Hi.
right, everyone.
Thank you for that, Nita. I really didn't say anything. I just wanted to thank everyone for your participation today. I'm eternally grateful. I think this is going to be an awesome meeting. Congresswoman Kelly, we thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us, as well as our other presenters. So I just wanted to give a thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Clifton,
Hmm.
Missy says she can't unmute.
Okay, so will that feature be, is that one of the
No,
features
it
that will come
shouldn't.
back?
So Eric, can you unmute?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
Eric, let's see. Can you unmute? Yep.
Yes, the button just came up asking if I can unmute myself, and I just did.
All
Can you hear
right.
me?
Right. Yes. So all of the panelists are unmuted. I'm gonna go ahead and open the doors now.
Thanks, Clifton.
Isaiah, you want to take the? Gotta be kidding.
Uh-oh, Eric, you can't unmute? And Missy said hers went back to locked as well.
Okay. So everyone should be able to unmute now.
You good? Okay,
I'm back.
great.
All right. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and open.
Okay, sounds good.
Isaiah, can you speak so you can be center stage now?
Yes,
All right.
did that work for you?
Yep. Nita, you might want to turn your video off.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Behind the scenes, everyone.
And the doors are opening now.
Okay.
You're ready, Jose. Isaiah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Isaiah Spears, the Director of Development and Strategic Partnerships with ChicagoMSDC. We welcome you today to the Infrastructure Procurement Luncheon Learn. We would like to thank representatives from the Illinois Department of Transportation and the Missouri Department of Transportation to highlight recently passed Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, providing insight to the process for MBEs to register through IDOT and MoDOT supplier portals and bid opportunities. It is an honor to introduce Congresswoman Robin Kelly, who will deliver today's opening remarks. Congresswoman Kelly has dedicated her career to public service. Since her election to serve the 2nd Congressional District in 2013, she has worked to expand economic opportunity, community wellness, and public safety across the state. She serves as the Vice Chair of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, the main policy writing body of the House. Congresswoman Kelly's tireless efforts in Washington and vote to pass legislation for critical infrastructure investments is why we are all here today. Her commitment to passing historic legislation will lead to improvements for public health and safety, as well as job creation. Please join me in welcoming Congresswoman Robin Kelly.
Thank you so very much, and good afternoon to everyone. I'm delighted to be here to join you for your virtual Lunch and Learn. I am very excited to be sharing with you some more information about the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. As you know, Congress passed this bill into law on November 6th of last year, officially making the largest investment in our nation's infrastructure resilience in history. We are already beginning to see some of the funding provided by this law coming into our communities. Yesterday, the Army Corps of Engineers announced $1.5 million that is being allocated to protect and restore the Lake Michigan shoreline. So very, very important. Soon, Richton Park in my district will receive $2 million for improvements around the Metro and Richton Park's town center. This work will reduce flooding, enhance public safety around the train station, improve roads and traffic flow near the station, and create opportunities for business development along the east branch of Butterfield Creek. My congressional district, which runs from the south side of Chicago down to Kankakee, is set to receive $16 billion in investment, and there will be a lot more investment throughout the entire Chicagoland area. But this law is not just about roads and bridges or public transit or schools, although all of these are very important and exciting investments. Through the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, we are also investing in our economy, in our workforce, in our businesses, and in our supply chain. America's small businesses account for more than 40% of the U.S. GDP, create 2/3 of net new jobs, and employ almost half of America's workers. However, even before the COVID-19 pandemic, America's aging infrastructure prevented too many small businesses from reaching their full potential. President Biden's historic bipartisan infrastructure law will equip America's Main Street entrepreneurs with the tools and resources they need to innovate, create good-paying jobs, and provide the essential goods and services our communities depend on. That's why I was so proud to support this legislation, and I'm so excited to see these investments coming into our communities. I know everyone has felt the strains of shipping delays and supply chain issues throughout the pandemic. I am sure it has been even harder on you all, our suppliers, who are trying to support your businesses by getting your products to consumers or clients. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act will reduce small business shipping delays by upgrading our nation's transportation infrastructure. Prior to the pandemic, nearly 2/3 of small business owners considered local roads and bridges average, poor, or very poor quality, and more than half of small business owners said infrastructure investments are crucial to the success of their business. The president's plan invests an additional $621 billion in transportation infrastructure and resilience to help small businesses obtain the inputs they need and deliver goods and services to consumers across America and around the world. This law is also going to help small businesses hire new employees and reach new customers by providing universal broadband. By one definition, more than 30 million Americans live in areas where there is no broadband infrastructure that provides minimally accepted speeds. Perhaps as a result, even before the pandemic, 7 in 10 small business owners felt it was important for Congress to fund broadband projects. This plan will invest $65 billion in broadband infrastructure, helping ensure that every American has access to reliable, high-speed internet and creating new opportunities for small businesses nationwide. We're bringing support to businesses by expanding opportunities to win federal contracts. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act includes a historic procurement effort designed to support small businesses and tackle long-standing inequities in the contracting system. That includes directing the Department of Transportation to award more than $37 billion in federal contracts to small, disadvantaged business contractors. President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law will put Main Street to work, rebuilding the nation's roads and bridges, eliminating the nation's lead service lines and pipes, deploying broadband, and installing thousands of miles of new and resilient transmission lines. Finally, this law is going to help the Minority Business Development Agency. Latino and Black Americans are roughly 30% of the U.S. population, yet they currently own less than 10% of small businesses with employees. For more than 50 years, the federal agency, whose entire focus is on addressing racial disparities in business ownership, has been operating with meager resources and without permanent authorization from Congress. Our bipartisan infrastructure law will make the Minority Business Development Agency permanent, elevate its director to Undersecretary of Commerce, and give the agency more tools and authority. These actions will enable MBDA to create new programs to address the economic challenges facing underserved communities, expand small business ownership, and shrink long-standing inequities in wealth and opportunity. I am confident that these investments are going to help you, your businesses, and small minority-owned businesses across the country. I look forward to sharing more information with you in the coming weeks and months as this money begins flowing into our communities and more programs and opportunities become available to you and your businesses. In the meantime, please reach out to my office if you have any questions about the legislation or the programs that will be starting soon to support you. Additionally, I hope you will reach out to me if you're able to hire new employees, improve your business, or even have challenges accessing these programs. I want to hear the good, the not so good or almost good, the bad, and the ugly, so I can make sure that we are serving you and adequately addressing your needs. Ultimately, when your business succeeds, our entire community succeeds, and I want to make sure I help you do that. Thank you so much again for inviting me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your program and learn something new that will help support your business. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Before I get started, I introduce our engineer, Eric Ray. I just want to mention too, thank you, Congresswoman, for being here. There's another bill that's out there too, and I'm sure you're probably supporting that, which is Congressional Bill 3339, which is an infrastructure bank, because we do need more money for roads, bridges, and all the things that you just mentioned right there. So I wanted to mention that before I again introduced our engineer, Mr. Eric Ray. Eric Ray is an IDOT construction area supervisor in District 1 with 20 years of experience in design and construction of roadway and bridge projects. He has also served as resident engineer on several major projects, including the Dan Ryan Expressway reconstruction, Congress Street Bascule Bridge rehabilitation, I-55 at Lakeshore Drive interchange, reconstruction and the James Byrd Interchange reconstruction. Eric has a BS in civil engineering from Tennessee State University and is a licensed professional engineer in Illinois. Welcome.
Thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity to come here and share some of these opportunities. I'm going to share my screen now. All right, and I hope that that's clear for everyone. Good afternoon. Again, my name is Eric Ray. I am with the Illinois Department of Transportation, and I wanted to discuss some of the opportunities for contractors and consultants looking to get involved in some of the upcoming IDOT work. So I'll be talking about some of the IDOT opportunities for fiscal year 2022 construction and professional services with the Department of Transportation. And just to give you an overview of the organizational chart of District 1, Jose Rios is our Region 1, District 1 engineer, and this is an organizational chart for upper management within this district, which goes from the very northern end of Illinois down to the bottom of Will County, just toward, I think we go as far west as DuPage County. So under Jose Rios, we have our engineer project implementation, Isam Rayan, and directly under him, he has several engineers that work in District 1. The first of which is John Schumacher, that is my direct supervisor. I work directly under him to administer contracts for the department in this district. Another name in that same column at the bottom is Philippe Victor. He is our District 1 compliance officer. He works with a lot of EEO issues and disadvantaged business enterprises, getting them involved in some of the IDOT contracts. There's another person who works with Philippe's group. His name is Theo Joyner, and I'll be sharing his information a little later in the presentation. But John Schumacher's group with me and other area supervisors and Philippe's groups are the ones that implement the construction projects and enforce some of the DBE goals that are included in those contracts. So the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act will provide, we anticipate, funds for multiple modes of transportation, and over the next 5 years, we are looking at over about $18 billion of investment and funds that is available to fund roads and bridges, but also rail, public transportation, buses, airports, and other things. I'm going to focus today on mostly roads and bridges because that's the meat and potatoes of what I do, but there are other aspects to it, both within IDOT and other agencies as well. So we anticipate about $11.2 billion for highway development, and about $1.4 billion out of that will be for bridge replacements and repairs. There's also provisions for additional funding for economically beneficial projects. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to be determined, but there is additional funding that the state can compete for in addition to the money that is set aside for us. Out of those funds, this district anticipates, just in District 1, $314.7 million in fiscal year 2022, which ends in June of this year. The upcoming lettings will be about that much, and approximately 88 million of that will be for resurfacing projects for interstate and non-interstate, as well as pavement preservation and rehabilitation projects. So some of the biggest projects that we will have out of these in the north end of the district toward O'Hare will be the I-190 corridor. There's a lot of reconstruction and rehabilitation going on in that area that will be coming out soon. Along the north side of Chicago, along the Kennedy Expressway, I-90-94, we will have several deck overlays and bridge repairs and resurfacings on the Kennedy Expressway. And then toward the southern end of the district, the I-80 corridor will have a lot of reconstructions and a lot of resurfacing of the I-80 expressway, the interstate from probably Joliet to a little bit to the east. Those are some of the bigger projects. But in addition to that, there is a host of smaller projects, resurfacings, ADA ramp projects, smaller things that will be coming out as well. And for information on those projects, you can go to the IDOT website and look at the multi-year plan, and it'll give you some information on some of the things that are coming up. And for these projects, not just the huge projects for expressways and interstates, but also for some of the smaller resurfacing projects, there are a lot of opportunities and different work scopes. Some of those work scopes include intersection reconstructions, bridge work, whether it be repair, replacement, deck overlays, and painting of bridge beams. There's resurfacing projects, like I mentioned, with ADA improvements for crosswalks and push buttons at ramps. There's opportunity for drainage, storm sewer, curb and gutter, sidewalk, crack sealing, traffic signal, electrical improvements, landscaping, pavement markings. All of these are different trades, different types of work that different contractors can get involved with. In addition to that, there's also opportunities for professional services that can be consulting firms or architectural or other services that IDOT needs to supplement our own staff. Some of those engineering opportunities we anticipate to come in this year will come to about $192 million. Now that's new and ongoing consultant work, and 75 million of that 192 million will be for new consultant engineering. So again, this supplements IDOT staff and IDOT's engineering needs, and there are opportunities for engineering firms in that regard. So just to give you a quick look at some of the more recent opportunities, the PTB is the, Professional Transportation Bulletin, which we have several of them a year. I think it's 4 of them every year. And what we do is list consultant opportunities under each PTB. For the last 5 selections, we had 43% of our selected firms were DBE firms. So that's a pretty good opportunity for a DBE firm to get involved in the engineering aspect of it. In addition to that, we have a mentor protege program where we have more established firms that can partner with smaller DBE consultant firms, and they can act as a mentor, and that DBE firm can be a protege and learn IDOT systems, learn how to get a part of IDOT work, and learn how to get involved in some of those projects. So as you can see, we have had a decent number of mentor protege selections. So for instance, the last PTB, one of the more recent PTBs is PTB 200. Out of the 12 selections, 5 of them participated in the mentor protege program. That's a good way to get involved without having to be the prime consultant on a certain agreement, but you can still get involved.
You okay?
Yeah, everything all right? Okay. So in order to get involved with some of these opportunities, you have all of these dollars going out, all of these contracts, all of these consultant opportunities. The best way is to get to our website, idot.illinois.gov. I found that an even quicker way to get there would be to search IDOT Quick Links using your favorite search engine. And that'll take you to a website where you can go and check out our transportation bulletin, which has information on upcoming lettings, recent lettings that have just come out, and you can see who the contractor was and perhaps partner with them. There is an instructional video that can explain how to get involved in some of these projects. There's also information on the website about how to get pre-qualified, how to get registered as a subcontractor or a trucking firm, how to get DBE certifications, and how to look up procurements in the upcoming upcoming fiscal year. And as I mentioned before, the multi-year plan is also available. So I would like to kind of just stop and show the website so that you can get a quick idea
So I love you and enjoy.
So this is the basic website. Here, doing business is where we have a lot of information. You can go from here to what I mentioned before was contractors' quick links, and they can give you information on the bulletin, on some DBE issues, how we administer contracts and other things. Also under doing business, it'll take you directly to procurements, where you can go and look into opportunities for the consultant services, which would be here. You can get information on lettings and biddings and other opportunities for procurements with IDOT.
Excuse me, Eric. We cannot see your screen with the sharing of the website.
Let me see if I can adjust that.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can see it.
Okay.
I'm not able to see it.
We had a comment in chat and I don't see it either.
Eric, are you trying to show the actual website versus your PowerPoint now, correct?
I was trying to go to the website. Yeah, show the website.
If you go to up there to share, and there's a drop down menu and you do share web browser, it'll switch to the web browser instead of your PowerPoint.
All right. All right, bear with me. How about now?
Okay, we're with you now. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic, great. So let me start back a little bit. This is the IDOT website, and this is the doing business drop down. Here is where you find contractors' quick links, and they have letting and bidding information where you can go to the transportation bulletin, for instance, and you can see the upcoming the next letting, which is tomorrow actually. You can also go to previous lettings, and if you go there, you can scroll down and find perhaps a project that you may be interested in working on. And if you're in Lake County and you think this project may have opportunities for your firm, you can click on it and you can get information on that project, such as who is the low bidder. So here, if you see Laura Construction is the low bidder, you may want to approach them and say, I have a firm that performs a certain type of work, and I see that you have a 16% DBE goal on this project. I'm a certified DBE. Maybe we can partner together and we can take advantage of some of those opportunities. Also on the website, they have information on administration of the project and DBE compliance. But what I mentioned before, sometimes the easiest way is to go to your favorite search browser and just type in what you're looking for, such as if you're looking to be certified, type in IDOT certifications. And it pops right up, IDOT DBE certification, and it'll take you right to the part of our website where you can get information on the DBE process and how to apply. It has a lot of information that can be very useful. Similarly, if you are looking to be registered as a subcontractor, same thing, it takes you to IDOT's website, and you don't want aircraft or pilot registration, but here, subcontractor and trucking supplier registration comes right up. And then the other one, pre-qualification is another one. If you wanted to bid on IDOT work as a prime, then they do have, again, you have professional services, that's for consultants, but they also have just a whole wealth of information on the website. I would recommend just going to the search engine and looking up those topics. And lastly, I mentioned the multi-year plan. If you search IDOT MYP, same thing, it takes you directly to the website where they do have a document where you can look up what's coming up in the future. So if I could get back. My presentation. Okay, so with that being said, that's the information on some of the links that can take you to information to get involved in some of these opportunities. But the other important screen that I really want to share with you is the contact information. For DBE assistance, certification, letting, bidding assistance, and general questions, these are two numbers that I want you to have. One is to the Dan Ryan Resource Center. We are located at 900 South Plains in Chicago. The number is 312-939-1100. The other, and the contact person there is Monica. She can help you. And also there is Theo Joyner. He's great with working with folks who want to get involved in some of these opportunities. He can be reached at 708-825-3795. So this used to be a walk-in facility, but now I believe it's appointment only. So we do ask that you call because of COVID. We don't want a lot of people walking in and out through the building. But hopefully things will change soon and you can get a chance to get over here to the Resource Center and work with either Monica or Theo or someone in Philippe's group, and you can get involved. But that's all I had, and I would like to thank you for listening. And if you did have any questions, I can hopefully try to answer.
Yes, I would like to open it up for questions. If any of our guests would like to ask questions.
Dr. Green, there's a question in chat.
Hello?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that was my question. That's what I put in the chat. I'm not sure if you see it. My name is Sofia Lagedi. I am the president and the founder of Amerock Export, certified as WBE, BEP, and DBE. We are a wholesaler of oil lubricants and tires. For instance, if a big firm, our target always is to sell our products either the construction companies or trucking companies for our oil lubricants and tires. My question to Eric, for instance, if there is a construction company who has a contract with the government, is how they can use us as a subcontractor for our product, again, the oil lubricants and tires.
Okay, well, you do want to get registered as a subcontractor, and also if you are a DBE firm, you want to get that certification as well. And I mentioned before about trying to get to the previous lettings under the procurements tab at IDOT. You can find out which contractors, may be working on a big project in the area, and you can reach out to them directly. But your case is a perfect case to reach out to the Ryan Resource Center. They do have a wealth of information. They are very knowledgeable, and they can put you.
Who are they?
They can help you with the certification process of being certified, and also to help you get registered as a sub. But all of that information is on the website as well. If you click on those links, they can help you get registered and certified.
Thank you so much, Eric. Just a question, because we are a supplier for oil lubricants and tires. Is there a way that they can consider us as a subcontractor? That is my specific question.
I don't know that would be considered subcontracted work.
Mm-hmm.
Subcontracts on IDOT projects are usually work that is defined by pay items in the contract and special provisions in the contract, not so much fuel and lubricant and consumables that the contractor would use.
All right, next question. Anyone?
Hi, Eric. This is Carmina Arroyo with Grit Pipe Solutions. I had a question in the chat room. The information you provided so far focuses on the DB certification assistance. My company is an MBE. Would those contacts be the same, or would they be different?
I would not know the specifics, and I would encourage you to reach out to either Monica or set up a chat with Theo. to answer that question because he knows like the back of his hand exactly what is required, and he could help you much better than I can, and I don't want to give you bad information. But I would highly encourage you to contact Theo Joyner, and that's at 708-825-3795.
Well, Eric, I can answer that question now. What happens is this, is that IDOT has a DBE program. It doesn't look at MBEs or WBs. So when you're working on an IDOT program, it's strictly DBE. Also, the Chicago Transit Authority and Metra and PACE only use DBs. Now, the city of Chicago can use MBEs, WBs, and DBs, but because this is a federal program, the feds only allow IDOT to use DBEs. So yes, you only could be a DBE bidding on IDOT work.
Okay.
Mr. Joyner, quick question for you, following on what she said. Will the money also flow to local municipalities that they can use MBEs and DBEs besides just the state contracts, because it always flows down to local government? Can you answer that?
Well, what happens is this, is that as long as that agency spends their own money, they can use WBs, MBs, and DBs. But if there's a $1 of federal money in a contract, they have to use DBEs.
Excellent.
Yes, hi, right, Dan? Hello?
Next question, please.
Yes, hi. This is Sheila Johnson. I'm with BTD Painting and Construction. We're a commercial painting company. We're MBE, WBE, and DBE. However, we're certified in the state of Missouri. And I just wanted to know, is there a reciprocity type of situation if I wanted to get certified for Illinois? And the second question is there substantial work for any commercial painting under this, under this infrastructure bill?
I can answer the question as far as reciprocity. What the federal government has done, it has given each state the right to use one of two means, meaning that if you're certified, like you say in Missouri, and you're trying to get certified in another state, what that state can require you to do is provide them a copy of your certification letter for Missouri and sign an affidavit. Or what they can require you to do is provide them a copy of your original certification application with Missouri and all the supporting documentation. And then what they will do is contact the state of Missouri in order to get your site visit notes that whoever the analyst is that came out to do the site visit on your company.
Okay.
But Illinois says this, Illinois wants you to provide them a copy of your original application and all the supporting documents that you provided to Missouri so they can look over that information.
Okay. And
As far as the second part of your question, yes, there are a lot of opportunities for painting and coatings in the state. I do not know how that breaks out for each district. If you were to go and look at the IDOT multi-year plan, I believe that you can break out the different districts. So I don't know if you're maybe in the St. Louis area, then that would be District 8. I'm in District 1, and I know we do have a ton of bridge painting contracts that are coming out regularly because we just have so many bridges. Different areas may have different types of bridges, maybe concrete beams or things like that, but I would encourage you to look at the letting under the procurements tab or go to the multi-year plan to see what's coming out in the future as far as maintenance of bridges, because there is a lot of coating work, but where it shakes out, I do not know exactly the breakout and location of those projects.
Okay, thank you.
Mike Neal, in the interest,
can I ask one at a time? One at a time. Thank you. Next.
Yeah, I was Mike Neal. Can I ask the question, clarity about your mentor protege in terms of what are your criterias? And is that a formal agreement or does that enter into contract agreements with a mentor protege? So what are the criterias and which kind of, how do you formalize that agreement? How do you get into the criteria and understanding to get into a mentor protege?
I'm sorry, Mike, I don't have a lot of information on that as well. I would encourage you to look at the website under the, I think it was a professional services tab, and they would have a lot more information, and it'll be a lot more up to date and precise than anything that I could give you now.
Well, I can add a little bit to that, Eric. What happens is this: there's the mentor protege program for the professional services, which says this: since all contractors, whether you're prime or sub, you have to be pre-qualified with IDOT. So for the professional services contract, everybody is considered a mentor or a protege. And what has to happen is that if the prime consultant decides if they want to execute their contract as a mentor protege project, IDOT allows them to do that with whoever the DBE, because the protege is always going to be a DBE firm, and they can execute the contract. But what has to happen for construction and professional services, there has to be a developmental plan that they execute, which says these are the things that the mentor is going to help the protege with, how often they're going to help them with it, because there's a reimbursement part of it too. Because if they initiate a contract, because before there's a contract, the mentor is doing goodwill to assist the protege in learning certain things. When there's a contract that's executed, the services that that mentor is helping their protege with, they're getting reimbursed for those activities. When it comes to the construction side, a contractor has a mentor has to be pre-qualified. The protege has to be in business at least 3 years and submit an application, mentor and protege. This is on the construction side.
Mr. Joyner,
Yes.
forgive me, but we have to move on to the next speaker. And you're giving very, very important information. Can you give out your number so that you can share that before we move on with the next speaker?
Yeah, Eric gave it out at 708-825-3795.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we will move on to the next speaker, which is Missy Strudel, Missouri Department of Transportation. Missy Strudel is the External Civil Rights Director for MoDOT. She has been with MoDOT for over 20 years. She is responsible for oversight for the day-to-day activities of the division, including the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, On-the-Job Training Program, Equal Employment Opportunity, Title IX, ADA, and all other non-discrimination or affirmative action programs related to federal aid contracting activities. Missy is the lead administrator of the Missouri Unified Certification Committee, which includes St. Louis Lambert Airport, Bi-State Development, Mid-America Regional Council, City of Kansas City, and the Kansas City Area Transportation Authority. Missy graduated from Central Missouri State University with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and graduate degree from Columbia College with a master's degree in criminal justice. Welcome, Missy.
Thank you, Dr. Green. Unlike Eric, my experience is more related to the DBE program, where his is more on the engineering side. I will be able to provide you all some information on projects, but also will direct you where you can find project-specific information as it relates to the funding package. As Dr. Green mentioned, I'm Missy Strudel, the Director of MoDOT's External Civil Rights Division, and it's an honor for me to be able to provide you with an overview regarding the Missouri Department of Transportation. In general, I'm going to provide you some information on the bidding opportunities that we have coming up based upon the funding package. In addition, I'll be talking about the certification process that MoDOT administers. Okay, the Federal Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act, or known as IIJA, provides a 5-year reauthorization for fiscal years 22 to 26. Those areas that MoDOT will see funding in include federal highway projects for both construction and consultants, highway safety projects, transit programs, and rail programs. The IIJ funding represents a 25% increase in federal funding levels compared to the previous act that was known as the FAST Act. MoDOT stands ready to use these additional funds to address the $1 billion in annual unfunded transportation needs that we have. The buckets that you see on the slide represent high priority unfunded annual transportation needs for MoDOT. Each bucket represents a different area of improvement. $115 million for improvement of bridge conditions, $600 million to improve road conditions, $105 million for MoDOT maintenance and operations, $300 to invest in projects that increase economic growth or bringing resources and job development into the areas, $325 million for major interstate reconstruction, and $95 million to improve multimodal transportation options, which include the rail, aviation, transit, and waterways. Okay, what are the next steps? How are we going to determine which projects fall under the IIJ funding? Well, MoDOT is in the process of drafting a new statewide transportation improvement program, better known as our STIP, for the next 5 years. This document will list all the projects that we have forecasted based upon the district for the next 5 years. This STIP is updated annually in the winter and provides a list of funded projects committed again for the next 5 years. We are currently working with our regional planning partners to discuss the needs in each of our districts. We feel it's very important for us to get the input from the planning partners because a lot of the projects are in their areas and they know the needs of their communities as well. The draft STIP will be presented to our Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission. They're the one that approves our projects, and we'll bring that to them in May of 2022. The commission will then meet in July of 2022 and approve that STIP. The projects we'll see based upon this infrastructure package funding will start to be let in the fall of 2022. Okay, on to the certification process, just so you can be familiar if you're not certified with MoDOT as a DBE. In order to be eligible for the program, you must be a for-profit business. And again, as mentioned during Eric's presentation, DOTs can only establish DBE goals on projects. If there's any federal money tied to the project, we can only set DBE goals. We do not set WBE or MBE goals on projects. You must be at least 51% owned and controlled by a socially and economically disadvantaged individual. Your personal net worth cannot exceed $1.32 million. You must be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. And the overall business size standard for the company in gross receipts cannot exceed the $26.29 million. Based upon the NAICS codes that a firm is assigned, there could be dollar values associated with those NAICS codes that are lower than the $26.29 million. And just as a reminder, the intent of the DBE program is to strive to create a level playing field on which DBEs can compete fairly with all firms in the transportation industry. As mentioned during Eric's presentation, there was discussion about the Unified Certification Program. Well, in Missouri in October of 2014, MoDOT entered into a memorandum of understanding with partnering DBE certifying agencies in the state of Missouri to include MoDOT, Lambert Airport, Bi-State, Kansas City Area Transportation Authority, and the Mid-America Regional Council. These partnering agencies under our UCP were known as Missouri Regional Certification Committee, or MRCC. So what does this mean? What does this commitment mean? Well, it means that if you're certified as a DBE with any of the partners, you are also certified by any of the partners listed on the screen. You are not required to submit a separate DBE application to all these entities. We recognize and honor each other's DBE certification. If you are a firm whose home state is in Illinois, for example, or a state other than Missouri, you must be certified with that home state first before applying for certification with MoDOT. And as was mentioned previously, MoDOT does require you to submit your entire application with supporting documentation from your home state to Missouri so we can review your certification application. Okay, how do you apply for certification? So this slide will show you where you can upload the documents and some of the required forms that we have for the certification process. A firm will be required to complete a DBE application with supporting documentation that's outlined in the checklist on the last page of the application. In addition, you'll be required to complete a personal net worth form, which is also located on this website. And as mentioned on the previous slide, you will have to do an on-site visit. We'll come to your place of business if your firm is located in Missouri. If you're located in Illinois, we also will request the on-site from your home state. If there's additional questions that we may have that were not addressed on the on-site, we may do a follow-up telephone call with you. We also have an electronic way to submit the application. If you click on this site, it says click to upload via box.com. This is a secure file sharing location where you can upload those documents. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit because I also want to share with you some information on our website. And so now you should be able to see the internet. Is that correct? Dr. Green, can you see that? Thumbs up if you can.
No internet yet.
Okay. Let's see, I may have to end the show. Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I want to show you some important links on our website. We have a lot of good, useful information for DBEs and contractors on this website. If you go to here on the left-hand side, first of all, I can scroll up. Once you get to our MoDOT main page, if you just do doing business with MoDOT, programs. This lists all our program areas, and you can see external civil rights is here, and that will bring you to the screen. And DBE program is where you would upload the DBE application in the personal net worth form and the interstate affidavit as well. And again, you can upload those here to the secure file site. At this location here is our MRCC directory. It lists all the DBE firms that are certified with all of our partners. It is a searchable DBE directory where you can put in a NEX code. You can put in a keyword search if you're looking for a consulting firm, you're looking for landscaping, guardrail concrete. It is a searchable feature for contractors. And one thing we like to encourage DBEs when you're certifying with MoDOT to be very specific and tell us what you do so we can market your company. And so those search features can be very valuable to contractors if they're looking to see what you do. In addition, towards the bottom, this PowerPoint presentation is 15 minutes for me. I will tell you last month, MoDOT conducted 4 DBE opportunity training webinars that are, it's over 40 minutes long, that will go into very detailed and specific locations for all these websites. And so I would encourage you to go out to this location that's called DBE Opportunities Webinar, recorded December 2021, and go out and look at this. It's for currently certified firms in our directory, as well as any potential applicants that may want to apply with MoDOT. At this location here is a guidance on bidding opportunities. Again, it's more of a condensed version of the webinar, shows you how to get to all our different contracting resource opportunities from construction down to consultants. So this is also a very good tool to use. The next location is information about our letting. Oh, let me go back one other spot. I'm sorry. Let's see. This is a very, very good tool that a lot of people do not know about. On the left-hand side is letting information. And what you can find here is 2022 letting calendar. We also have a letting this coming Friday. And so these are all the projects that are a part of that letting. And so if you click on each of these projects, it pulls up a very handy tool that shows you how and what, not really how, but what work scopes we considered when setting the DBE goal on a project. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And so we include the job number, the county, the route, what the DBE goal was, and we list here in the column what work scopes were considered as a part of that project. We also include the line numbers, so the DBE can reference back to that bid tab to see what line items those could include, what next codes it falls under, what we show as the DBE directory of who can do that type of work, as well as indication of the last 12 months who was utilized for that type of work. Very handy tool for the contractors as well as the DBEs as it relates to each individual letting. We try to have 2 lettings worth of information out there. This next set is a letting for the February letting. So it gives the DBE firm and the contractors ample opportunity to reach out to each other to make those contacts to meet those DBE goals on the projects. In addition, down here shows past utilization for several, looks like a 2-year period of time. If you pull up this spreadsheet, it'll list kind of the same information, but after the project has been awarded, it'll tell you who the contractor was that got that project, again, what the DBE goal was, and who they are intending to use on the project. Let's see. Then we'll move on to this bid opening page. This is information where you are going to see different resources as it relates to specific bidding. And one key feature that a lot of people do not know about is this unit bid price category. So for 2009 all the way up to 2020, MoDOT has this list, and I'm going to pull it up here. By district, it tells you the pay item, which is our line item, the scope of work for the project, the unit, if it's acres, linear square feet, tells you what the average price was in for that type of work. So this will allow you to go out there and see how close a DBE firm is to bidding in each of these areas to maybe make you more comparable bids to others on projects. You can see, okay, I bid this project for, $50, a square yard. Could I have done it for 30? Now again, keep in mind this is average. DBEs should not be used on projects based on price, but it gives you a good tool to see where maybe some of those bids have came in. And again, that's based on all the districts in MoDOT. So that's some really good information for you all to take a look at. This is our plans room where it lists all the projects. This happens to be the one for the January letting. It'll tell you the liquid asphalt, the asphalt price index that we currently have. It also tells you about the federal state wages that's on the project, any general or provisions or supplements that are on the project. Also gives you a list of the plan holders. If you click on this link, it takes you to each individual call. And if you, let's just select one, DO1, it tells you everybody, prime contractors, as well as DBE firms that ask for those plans, gives you the contact information, gives you their email address, so you can reach out to them to submit bids and quotes to them for each of the individual calls that are listed on the project. Very good tool. Let's see, and here's the fuel index, and this is the asphalt price index. That way you can see what those figures are, get very much into detail, the bid book, the job special provisions, if there was any addendums issued, they are also noted out here as well. You can also go out and change this to prior lettings to get additional information on past projects, or again, the February lettings out there too. You want to get a head start to see what's going on for the month of February. This is a good tool that you can do that as well. We also have pass-through funds that we give to cities and counties. They have a separate website where they post their information on our website. Kind of similar to ours, but in one spreadsheet. The first 2 letters here represent the district where the project is located, and the post date and the letting date. So very similar to our regular MoDOT process. I'll hurry up here. This is our design build page. We also participate in design build. We have several upcoming design build projects. We have several completed design build projects. And we have several ongoing design build projects. So if you're wanting to partner up with a firm on a design build project, this would be a good resource for you to go out and take a look at that. As relate to consultant information, we also have the solicitations, the RFQs that are available for our consultants, a list of on-call consultants and how you can register to be a consultant with MoDOT, good website and information for consultant DBE firms. And I wanted to show this Citizens Guide to Transportation Funding since I'm not involved as much in the transportation planning or the project organization. MoDOT is very transparent, and we have a lot of information on our website where it talks about some of those buckets I talked about in my first slide. We give a financial snapshot of what our forecast is. We come down here and talk about how our money is, the funding is distributed to different areas, how we invest it, have a workforce component, unfunded needs area. And there's also a section for MoDOT contacts if you have specific questions about any upcoming projects that are going to be in that statewide transportation improvement program STIP project listing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and I can take any questions.
Before we open it up to questions, one of the things that we did not address was bonding and financing. Do they have to have their bonding up front and set? And if they win a job, do they need to have their financing?
Yes, there are some projects that have bonding, and there is a section on our website that talks about bonding and how they can do that as well. We do know that there's a couple of banks in Missouri that help small businesses, and we can provide them with that information if they contact our office.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
We do have questions in chat. Let's see, we can ask, well, there's one quick one that was not addressed earlier, and then we would have to conclude and address all of the remaining questions after the event because we're short on time now. But Jillian did raise one question, and this probably is for Eric, and it could be for Missy as well. Engineering firms, do they need to register for subcontracting opportunities?
Yes, for MoDOT, if you go to that consultant resources section, if you go to that PowerPoint or that recorded version, it'll be there, or in the different resources, or I can send you the information directly, but we do have a pre-qualification list with MoDOT for consultants.
Thanks, Missy. Eric?
I am not sure. I would have to refer you to the professional services website or give Theo a call. He would have much more information on the pre-qualification aspects of that and registration for the subs.
Okay, Jillian, so you can reach out to Theo at the number provided earlier.
And we also, for those suppliers, have Missouri buys, where if they're they want to see some of those procurement opportunities for other state agencies other than MoDOT for supplies or some of the tires or the lubricants and things like that, they need to get registered through Missouri buys. And so if they just search Missouri buys and get on that vendor list, they can put in their work scopes that they perform, and they can get notification for those services. I just wanted to say that real quick.
One more question. These projects do not have to be shovel ready. Am I correct?
That is correct, but we have been very proactive knowing that that funding could be coming down the pike. So we do have the listing that we are preparing and working with our regional planning partners to get ready. We want to be shovel ready because we want to get all the projects out the door, trying to be as proactive as possible as it relates to the projects and the DBEs to get more DBE certified in Missouri.
And how about Illinois? They have to be shovel ready?
I'm not sure. That is more of a funding thing. They let projects as they have funding available. So you're talking about as far as the certifications?
Not only certification, but have everything in order from the financing to the bonding to the trucks, equipment, everything ready to go immediate when the contract is let.
Yeah. I'm not sure. That's more of a programming question. I don't want to give you bad information.
Yeah, the DB has to be certified at the time for any MoDOT or Illinois project at the time a project is let. They cannot get certified after the fact and count for participation. I don't know if that was the question or not, but that's why we're so eager about getting everybody certified and ready now and trying to be
Yes.
proactive. So let's get you in the directory, get you some of these outreach events and get some contacts.
Thank you.
I'm sorry if I misunderstood the question, but yes, they do have to be certified prior to the project being led, yes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Great information. Isaiah, can you close us out?
He's on mute.
Can someone tell me when the next meeting for MoDOT for information is coming up?
As far as general information on DBE webinars and things like that,
Yes.
we don't have
Well,
one
be
scheduled.
certified as a DBE. I just want some more information of how to, get involved with other companies that are already doing work and what work is coming up.
Yeah, Sheila, I'll get your contact information from one of the planners of the event and can send you some information. Will we have information as far as email addresses for all the participants so we can send information out to them on some of the things that we talked about so they have it readily available?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
We want to thank you, and we'll toss this to the closeout.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to Congresswoman Kelly, Eric Ray of IDOT, Missy Studel of MoDOT, Dr. Alan Green of the Missouri MBDA Center, the public officials we have in attendance, as well as other government agency representatives and our guests for joining us to expand on the opportunities for MBEs and DBEs with the recently passed Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. For all questions that were not necessarily answered in today's chat, please make sure that you do reach out via email. And then we also look forward to, with the Chicago MSDC, you to participate and attend our Chicago Business Opportunity Fair, that's CBOF 55. For more information and for updates on that event, please visit our website at ChicagoMSDC.org. And we are excited for the opportunities that MBEs will have as a part of legislation. For all contact information related to either today's program or if you want more information about Chicago MSDC, please refer to the information you'll see on your screen and the respective representatives. Thank you. Have a good rest of your week.